Hello, welcome back to my channel, and on today's video we are going to simplify this complex expression. Okay, and how do we do that? It's very simple. The major aim whenever you are simplifying complex expression or complex number is that the denominator, we want to find a way to remove this imaginary number on the denominator. So what you are going to do is, of course, you use the conjugate of the denominator to simplify it. How do you do that? You say the conjugate of this is negative 4 plus I over negative 4 plus I. So some students will be like, why don't you also change 4? No, you are dealing with the imaginary, okay? Because that is the imaginary number that you want to remove. You want to remove the imaginary number. So is that imaginary number that is going to be affected? So what do you do next? Of course, let's just put it together so it becomes easy for us to see because you are multiplying through negative 4 plus I over have negative 4 minus I, then you have negative 4 plus I, okay? So by this, it's going to be easier for you to see. So you say 3 multiplied by negative 4, all right? So use distributive property. This multiplied by this is going to give you negative 12, and 3 multiplied by I is going to give you plus 3I, okay? So we are done with 3. So I have negative 2I multiplied by negative 4. That is going to give us plus 8I. Then you have negative 2I multiplied by plus 1 is going to give you negative 2I squared, right? So divide by your denominator. Now when you look at this denominator, it sounds something like complete different of 2 squared, where you have a squared minus b squared, which gives you a minus b and a plus b. All right, where your negative 4 is a and negative I is your b. Okay, but let's expand it so maybe you get to understand it later. So you have negative 14 multiplied by negative 14 is going to give you 16. Negative 4, not negative 14. So negative 4 multiplied by 1i. So it's going to give you negative 4i. So you have negative 1i multiplied by negative 4. It's still going to give you plus 4i. Okay, because negative times negative is positive. So negative I multiplied by I is going to give you negative I squared, right? And that's it. So let's simplify. However, you also need to note that I squared is the same thing as negative 1, right? If you watch our previous video, you see where I explained this. So what we are going to do here is we have negative 12 plus 3i plus 8i is going to give us 11i. Then we have negative 2. I squared is the same thing as negative 1. Then everything over. I have this is going to cancel this, of course, because they are going to give you 0. So you have 16 minus I squared is what? Negative 1. All right, always put it there. Always put it in bracket so you don't make a mistake. So here you have negative 12. You have negative 2 multiplied by negative 1 is going to give you plus 2, right? Then plus 11i. Everything out of 16 plus 1, because negative multiplied by negative is going to give you positive. So, and this, we now have negative 12 plus 2 is going to give you negative 10, then plus 11i, then everything over 17. And that is how to simplify your expression. Now, for what I said here, if you look at it from here, so this is the first terms, okay, that are subtracting each other. So basically what you will just say here is just say negative 4 squared. Okay, this is the answer. I just want to talk about this difference of 2 squared minus what? Negative squared, right? So this is going to give you 16. You have minus. So remember, this is what? This is, sorry, this is it's not negative 1. So, and this is what? I squared, right? I squared. Remember that I squared equals to I square equals to negative 1, right? So when you multiply this, you now have 16 plus 1, and that will give you 17, okay? I just say, let me put this here. So you understand, instead of you doing all this, you can easily use difference of 2 square, and you get your answer right away.